Hey there, and happy Monday evening. So I'm here with another video for you, and I've got some more Valentine. So these two are very similar. So what I'm going to do is just start the one card and kind of finish with the other, because like the layout is a little bit different, but the base of it, or the products in it, and the whole putting together is so similar that I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do these two and give you some ideas, and maybe it'll help you if you're like, no, I need some pink Valentines, no, I need some red Valentines. So then that'll give you some ideas for that. So thank you so much for tuning in. It was a little bit rough posting, but hopefully you're seeing the samples of the two cards that I made for my first video today. And it had been so long since I'd done a video that I was logged out of all of the background apps that I use to like put my watermark on, to upload my pictures to that and such too. So it took a little bit of maneuvering to get through all of those things. So hopefully I can get through this and then post these two samples with the ingredient list. I always like to call it kind of my recipe of everything needed to make my cards and such. And so hopefully this will go smoother, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm full for content for the rest of the week, so I hope my energy level stays so that I can continue to post some more videos and also get ready for my next event, which will be here at my house next Tuesday, that stamp camp. So I still have spots open for that if you're interested in coming to Tuesday stamp camp here in my home. And I do make goodies. I've already got some things in my mind that I want to make also. So all right, without further ado, let us get this turned around. Close-up angle here, what is actually going on. All right, so here, like I said, two cards. I'm going to show them. I'm going to get some better light on here too. Actually, I have this little ring. I'm always scared to put my extra light on my camera in case I end up covering up by accident my lens for the video. Okay, so the Valentine Kisses, cute bundle. Just used it in my first video. As you can see here, cute bears. This time I'm going to be using just this one because he's going to be peeking up out of the kissing stand. And we're using these things here plus the jar to kind of build that little stand. I feel like this guy also looks like the Charmin bear a little bit, but the stand here reminds me so much of Lucy on Charlie Brown. I love anything Peanuts related, Charlie Brown. So to see this, I just want a little sign that says psychiatrist is in, and the little 5-cent label, and that too. Thanks so much, Pam. So yeah, that means so much to me because it takes a lot of energy to prep for my classes and hours out of the day, and even to do my videos. I say, like, if I were to design a card, get all ready, clear my space for the video, post my video, everything that goes with it, it's usually 4 hours per card for video content. So that maybe puts a little bit into perspective of like tagging all the products and uploading it to YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram. And maybe you're like, oh wow, I didn't even know you were on YouTube. Or maybe you only watch it on YouTube and didn't know this started out as a Facebook Live and then gets uploaded there and such too. So yeah, it is quite the process. And that's why, with it being a quieter night tonight, I'm like, I think I can dedicate some good time to getting some of this done. And yeah, it feels good. And it'll get better. That's the good news. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is just start with the base of this card, and then halfway through just move on to that, or not even halfway through. So for this card, I started with, I have my notes over here. I just want to make sure that I have all the names right, because I forget how many pinks we've got. We've got, Real Red, Cherry Cobbler, Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, Poppy Parade, Melon Mambo, Flirty Flamingo, Berry Burst, Pretty in Pink. You could almost pull in a little bit of Peach Pie, maybe Petunia Pop, Strawberry Slush, and bubble bath and fresh freesia. So those are our pinks and reds, guys. Like there's a lot. So that's why I'm like, oh, you know, where do you start? Where do you stop? I always say when it's Valentine's, that's about the only time you can put all the pinks and the reds together, clashing and all, and it's still going to be just fine. So for the basis of this card, what I did is started with real red and then added a layer of strawberry slush. And where the strawberry slush is coming with that texture, I'm bringing in the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder, and that just puts a nice little extra depth of dimension in there. And some people like to use this side and some people like to use that side. I prefer like the popping up, but I would say a lot of them, there's no right or wrong. It can be personal preference, and that's fine too. So when I use my 3D embossing folders, I like to run my adhesive pretty slow across there, because sometimes if you whip along pretty fast, if you know me, I like to put my cards together really fast. Sometimes it can pull up and want to wrap up the cardstock in the adhesive. It doesn't happen if you're using glue. So if you're a glue adhesive person, that works out really well. Hi there, Kathy. Good to see you on here. And then for this, that's one of the doilies. In my last card, I used a larger size from the lovely doilies. So this time I'm using the smaller size. And here again, I'm just going to here and there put my adhesive on the parts of the doily that have a little bit more of a section to do that. And I'm just gonna kind of center it, but also kind of put it down a little bit there. And then we're gonna just set that aside and start building the other card, because this next section is going to be practically identical. So just gonna set that aside for now. And then we're gonna move on to this one. So hopefully I gave you the color scheme for that. And then for this one, the card base, I'm going to go all the way to the end with this one. This one's Calypso Coral. And I tell you, I was struggling so bad with this card because nothing seemed to be going right. I was using, I think, Pretty in Pink, because I was wanting to use this paper. And the papers for all of my projects over Valentine's have been from the Made with Love 12x12 Designer Series paper. Just really good stuff. Just like they couldn't have done a better pink, red, everything, like all those colors I mentioned, they're almost all in there. So I kept trying to pull this together with the Petal Pink, which looks great together. But then my base color, I just couldn't get that to come together because I was trying to use too pink of a pink. And then once I switched to Calypso Coral, even my husband said, that's what it is. That's the ticket now. It's finally coming together. So I'm just going to add this strip from the Made with Love. So that is cut 5 inches by 3 1/4. If I were to do it again, I would do 5 by 3.75. But I tell you what, this is part of my surgery recovery is I get tired fast. And what gets tired fastest is my brain, which it's normal. Everything's coming along fine. But if you've been through any kind of major surgery or any kind of thing, your body heals by using, like, everything goes to heal your body. And so when your brain slows down, it's just your body saying, you know what, you need to rest, and I'm going to take care of what needs to be healed. And if you operate with less of a brain today, it's because you're choosing to. And so that is just the way it is. So I got ready for my stamp camp and realized when I started to make a slice, and I have a big cutter, so often I'll put more than one piece of paper in there. So not only did I make just this mistake, I made like 3, I think, across, or 4, I can't remember, mistakes with one cut. But I'm like, you know, the original idea of the card, the whole idea when I made my sample was to have this kind of like fence looking or just a bottom piece on there anyway. So after I kind of settled down and went, you know, it's going to be okay, because it's either this piece goes down to the bottom and gets covered up, or this piece goes this far and still gets covered up anyway. So I like to share that with you because, you know, sometimes we get like bent out of shape about like, oh, I didn't do this right or that right. And And we just assume everybody's day goes smooth whenever they're making cards. That's like not the biggest thing in the world. We can all just kind of like pivot, adjust, and keep going, right? Okay, so now we've got this. It kind of looks like a living room or something there. And let's do the stamping. So I'm going to get out my Memento black ink pad here, and I'm going to ink up the cute bear in black, and then the little jar here. That jar is just so fun too. And since I'm stamping, I'm just going to also bring out my Flirty Flamingo and stamp out the bear hugs and kisses. And because I'm kind of building this up, it is going to have the effect that it's bigger than it is, but I'm just stamping this on some basic white that is 3/4 inches across there. So that will give you an idea of the sizing of that. I think people are always like, gosh, it looks like it's bigger because of building up the sign, but it's just a 3/4 inch strip there. And let's bring over the cut and emboss machine here and get the bear in the jar cut out. We'll see if we can do it at the same time. I'm actually going to flip. I tell you, my magnetic pad from my old machine is going so strong, but it's looking like, yeah, not great, right? And even my bottom pad that does not want to warp too much, I've been using that for I don't know how long, and I don't know if I just got lucky or why, but it doesn't want to warp like the top one. So I keep flipping it, and you can tell that it's hanging in there. Let's just say that. Okay, so let me push this through, get that cut out. And we've got the bear in the jar there looking super cute. All right, and we're going to do just a little bit of coloring, not a lot. So for those that think, oh, coloring isn't always my jam, I can show you like it can be. So I've just got the crumb cake, dark and light here. I'm just going to double check, yes, because I've got all sorts of projects kind of going around. So I'm going to start with the inside of his ear and just kind of connect over to the other side with the dark. So I'm just doing all of this with the dark, and then I'm going to come in around his nose. I'm going to fill all of this in, except for we really want to leave the white spot as much as possible on the nose. Sometimes we'll catch a little bit, and that's okay too. I'm just gonna outline the paws here, and it's gonna look almost like scribbly, like not perfect, and that's okay too. That's the best part of the blends. So let me pick this up and show you. So it doesn't look great. Sometimes I think that is, you know, one of the things. Okay, so Elizabeth, yep, so you must be tuning in. That's what I said earlier. I am a huge Charlie Brown fan, and so yes, the doctors and psychiatrists like 5 cents. And yeah, I almost thought about putting on my Snoopy. I have a Joe Cool sweatshirt. I thought, should I put that on? And then people will go, I know what she's talking about. But I kind of assume everybody that's into Snoopy will get that. So I'm just following through here with the light crumb cake. In fact, I don't know if it's me because I love Charlie Brown and Snoopy so much, but lately when I've been shopping, it's everywhere. Like at Christmas time, we went to Barnes & Noble, and there was puzzles and games all with like Snoopy themed things. And there's just like everything lately with Snoopy and clothes and things like that too. So now for the jar, all I'm going to do is take my light Flirty Flamingo, just going to go across that lid here, and then a little label kind of there. And then I'm just going to leave the rest of that jar like so. Yes, yeah, Joe Cool. Yes, so if you want to know where I got my sweatshirt, maybe someday I'll wear it for you guys. I got it at, oh my goodness, yeah, I can think of it. It's a place I don't shop very often. Oh, change shirt. TJ Maxx. There we go. I'm like, gosh, this is going to just drive me crazy. TJ Maxx. So if you want to match me, that is where I got mine this fall. Okay, so Hugs and Kisses, I'm just going to cut that down. That way now everything's kind of cut and ready to go. And let me put that aside. So those of you that come to my classes will know that I have these little sectional things here for when I do my die cuts for you. And so people can just take like one from each section here. And for those of you that don't live local or see what I'm up to, sometimes you'll see. And in the bottom of this one, I've got all these little hearts in here. I'm just going to pull a few out and just put them down here, because those are actually the hearts that come out of here when I die cut, and I want to use that on my jar. So there's a rhyme and a reason for that. Okay, so let me grab some glue dots. Glue dots are kind of the friend here to have for this project. So I just kind of press some glue dots onto the back side here. And what I do is just kind of put the bear there for a visual, and then I connect my stand here. And that visual also helps because it's easy to have this turn out a little bit crooked too if you don't have a bear. Like you can put one side down further than the other. So having something in there kind of helps with that. And then there's this fun little stitched piece that's going to go across the front. So I'm just going to put about 3 glue dots on there, and then just going to line that up here. So the colors that I've used for this, Petal Pink and Flirty Flamingo for this. And then on this card, so I'm making this card here, but the other card that I pulled in the beginning, like I said, once I got so far, it's very similar. This is Bubble Bath and just basic white there. So giving you the colors there. And then for the bear, what I did is just took a dimensional, actually I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive, and then he'll have something to kind of stick to. So I want my bear to show through there. He's sticking. Whoops. And then I'm just going to take my dimensional so that he sticks to the little Doctor is In stand. Let's call it that, right? Okay, so I'm going to add a couple more dimensionals here to pop up. And then we're going to add another one behind the bear. And then let's pull in a couple mini dimensionals, because this way up here, that will be the same height too, and that's going to get popped up. So the mini dimensionals then can kind of be up there, popping it up, but not interfering with the heart pattern that is peeking through there. Okay. There, I think I got them all. All right, so I'm going to pull this over here. And now I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and kind of line that up just a skosh over that brown there. And then with this one, I put the kissing jar up there, which I thought was, I'm Bear Hugs and Kisses, so you assume it's a kissing booth. I always call this the kissing booth. So that's the kissing jar, of course. I like it on there. But then I thought for this, just to kind of add more dimension, fill up the space that we're building for this background of this, I wanted to have the jar kind of sitting next to the stand there. So that's going to go there. And then I'm going to take another, like this is the Putsy card. So if my friend Pam starts, my other friend Pam, because I know one Pam's watching, but if my other friend Pam, who loves die cuts, is watching, she's going to go, oh yay, lots of die cuts. So the Pam that's watching, she loves to watch the coloring part. And there is a little bit of coloring on here. Okay, so if you notice, I just took a glue dot and just took and wadded it up. And so wadding it up on a heart that is that tiny, which is very tiny, then what happens is it almost makes it look automatically popped up. So it just kind of gives it a pop away from that color, but just adds a little bit there, like so. And then I'm going to take my Bear Hugs and Kisses and just put a little bit of adhesive across there. And then what I did is I cut these. I should give you the measurement here. 1 inch by 1.75. And the embossing folder that I used for this is Lovely Stripes embossing folder. It's part of that new floral, the Lovely Arrangements suite. So this is kind of fun, but I think it makes it look kind of wooden to have that pattern going on there. And now this I'm going to pop up too. I got that going on, and then it's just kind of the finishing touches, and I'll go through both of them, both of the cards too, for my finishing touches. So I'm just going to add that there, and then it saves some space here for some baker's twine. So I've got white baker's twine. We currently have that as a multi-pack with a lot of the neutral colors. This is what I want to use because I just had some in my stash, and it uses the pink and the white together. So I'm thinking this is Flirty Flamingo in there. I don't have the label on it, but I just loved how it added just a little bit more of the pink and white. And here's what it looks like just with the white, which is totally great too. But I thought there's so much going on that just a little bit of the baker's twine would be fun. Ribbon, I felt like, oh, unless it was really skinny, because it's such a tiny little scene, you know. It's almost like working with like Barbies or something, furnishing an apartment for a Barbie right here. I don't know, it's just really fun to come up with a little house scene for the cute bear here. So I'm just gonna trim down the edges here to make that even, like so. And so the front then is all done. And for the inside, then I have the Giving You a Big Smooch, which is kind of fun. So that I'm going to ink up again in the Flirty Flamingo ink pad. And I need my inside of my card. Here we go. And that's, whoops, I almost put that in upside down. Okay, Giving You a Big Smooch. And the fun thing about the Valentine Kisses bundle is it has like the little like hearts, X's and O's, and then even little smoochy, here it is, kissing lips there. So I just added that right to the sentiment on the same stamp. So that makes it easy to put that together. And that way they don't get lost in the shuffle too, which can happen when there's a lot of supplies. Okay, so this is going to go on the inside like that. And even though this is Flirty Flamingo and my card base is the Calypso Coral, look how well that coordinates too. So that's a good color combination that way. Now I'm going to move back to the other one and then just say again, this is Bubble Bath for that kissing booth. And then the color I used here for the ink is the Strawberry Slush. And then for my embellishments, I did add like that heart like I did to match that, and just that came from the Bubble Bath here. And these are the Sparkle Dot Essentials. So that's what I used just to add a little bit more on there because it felt like it needed something. And I think because of using the background Made with Love Designer Series paper, having that pattern, that helped. And because this was just more of the embossed background, even though we have the doily, I thought that just adds a little something there too. So you can see similar cards, but just different layouts, and just giving you some fun inspiration with that Valentine Kisses bundle there for you.